get it out the way. There's so much that has transpired in the past 12 hours. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. I'm going to try not to be long-winded. I want to call out some inconsistencies that I have seen. You know, when you have somebody who is a political pundit, correspondent, commentator, it's rare that you see instances or incidents like this. Um, be wary of political leaders, senators, representatives, constituents using Charlie Kirk as a pawn to facilitate whatever type of agenda they want to push. Absolutely not. We need to talk about the facts. Um, I will say that it's not my goal or my job to tell people to feel sorry for someone who did not feel sorry for others, who had a lack of empathy, who said the most derogatory, defamatory things about certain individuals because he could. Someone who pedestalized our president, who was propped up and then eventually taken out. The only people I feel sorry for are the children of Charlie Kirk, because, and his wife. They said his wife was at the event. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give my thoughts, and then I'm no longer going to speak on this because there is a criminal on the loose. So, hey Couture Bays, it's your girl Brooke Bratt going live with the Retalk and Bay Squad. We have to talk. We're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm going to talk about him being a political pawn, how his legacy will be affected, and no justice because, again, the person who assassinated him is free at large in the Utah streets. Why is this not world news? You see what I'm saying? And this is why I need us to take a step back, talk about it, and move on, because y'all are giving Charlie Kirk all this internet, social media, news commentary. Y'all didn't speak about the children who were harmed in another school shooting. Y'all did not have this regard for Dakar Thompson. Y'all don't have this regard for anybody unless it's a bigoted man from the Caucasus Mountains. That being said, how you can like this video is by double tapping the screen or hitting those three dots right there. How you can engage with this video is by hitting those three dots right there. Mods, I'm asking that you just keep everybody on topic. Anybody who wants to, you already know, if it is anything that goes against the YouTube policies and procedures, just time it out. We don't have time for nothing else. That being said, hey, Bay Squad. Hey, Sharita, good morning. Hey, Vanessa, what's going on? Yes, it is world news. Hey, Barry, what is going on? Listen, look around. There are world leaders out here giving their thoughts and opinions on Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, for him not to be a politician, they are treating him as one. I do want to say this. The reason the flag is at half-mast is because of 9/11. Don't you ever in your mind think they have the flag at half-mast for a political commentator. That is not how it works. 9/11 happened 24 years ago. My math is a little funny. I know I got Louisiana education. 9/11 happened about 24 years ago on this day. So do not even confuse something that happened to America as why the flags are at half-mast. That being said, I do want to say to anybody who's a part of Charlie Kirk's family, my heart is with you. My prayers are with you. I don't know what I would have done if my father, my brother, my uncle was assassinated and the video is circulated throughout the social media webs. And that goes to tell you that They are playing right in our faces. They are using this man as a pawn, even in his death. His wife and children were at the venue. Very unfortunate. His children are not even in school yet. They are elementary, like, I think one can possibly go to preschool, maybe. They are daycare age. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But guess what? We got to talk about it. I'm going to get it out the way. Hey, the Juice Talk Radio. What is going on? So let's lead with the facts. Yesterday, he was at Utah hosting, talking. And at this event, he was talking about the violence in America. And he was going to tie the violence that goes on in America to gang violence. He was also talking about mass shootings, which is crazy because his assailant is still at large, actively and currently. I did not make that up. That is the truth. His assailant was not taken down. The elder gentleman that y'all saw being detained is not the one who did that professional hit job. Now, you know, I work at Walmart, so I looked at the video because it was shown to me. I did not hear anything, which means they used a skilled weapon. It had some type of suppressant system on it. From the angle at which he was hit, in my opinion, they were aiming for the head. They ended up hitting the carotid artery, which is right here on both sides. You have two major arteries right here. And they hit one of the main vessels, which is right here, which means those around him did not even attempt to conceal the injury, let alone do any life-saving tactics. They took him off in an SUV, which is fine, but the way that the SUV took off, it was not going at a pace. In my opinion, rushing somebody to the hospital to get the best care possible. I also want to note that his team did not do a great job of sweeping the area, because from what I learned in my short amount of time of research, because y'all know, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it, that this was not the first time somebody threatened his life. You see people behind him doing some signals. I don't know what that means, but it just looked like to me they were signaling somebody who were behind him, and then he gets hit. They didn't even seem phased. They didn't even seem phased. So to me, it's given pawn. The way that the messaging was conveyed from these political leaders, from Gavin Newsom, from Barack Obama, to Mandu, the Prime Minister of Israel, you see Donald Trump, JD Vance, our POTUS, VP, all of that. I was like, it's very weird, it's very strange. It's given setup just to me, because it was on a world stage and then boom, the Colorado incident happened. It was like back to back. It was like back to back. It's getting, I told y'all, it's the witching hours. It's the spooky hours. I did see that a Caucasian woman went and put roots on Charlie Kirk. And she said, well, it was just this, we did a spell. I went to a witch to do spell work on him. Y'all are out here doing spells on people. And this is why I tell y'all have to be careful of what you put out into the universe, because people are working overtime to take you out. Let's get into it, shall we? Please like this video. Can we get 80 more likes, please? And thank you. Please and thank you. So I'm going to play this video from our beloved president so y'all can hear it for yourselves.
Americans, I'm filled with the heinous assassination. We were a little... To my great fellow Americans,
Ah! Oh, no. Did it go away? Where did it go? Did y'all see that? Okay, here it is.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family who he loved more than. To my great fellow Americans, we ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left, we ask God to watch over them in this Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, Americans like Charlie, to Nazis and the many innocent people, and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Many innocent people.
All right, so we have that. So that was strictly from the president, right? Today,
Fellow
well,
Americans,
as soon as it happened, and it's really unfortunate because again, the things that he was doing, he was indoctrinating. He wasn't debating. You had this 31-year-old grown man going to college campuses around the domestic U.S. to indoctrinate. Hence why pay attention to the words that are being said. I'm not outlining nothing. If you don't understand comprehension, it is what it is. Everything about this is a pawn. He was used as a pawn. Was he in on it? No, because all of a sudden when he started talking about the Epstein files and we deserve it, and yes, my friends, these are my friends, but we're allowed to call them out, and then all of a sudden they take him out. It's crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But I tell you what, as a betting woman, they said we're gonna use him, and they made sure it was televised. The videos are still circulating. You know, any other time they would have taken the videos down, they would have isolated the event, they would have stopped it from flowing. They're out there. You know why? It's to shut up the other political commentators that keep speaking on our beloved political leaders in the manner of releasing the Epstein files, because he was very active, very vocal, very loud and proud, stirring up the youth. The very youth they claim that they care so much about, but nothing. Where is this beautiful soliloquy and message for the children of Colorado? Child, they don't care. And this is why I have a special message to how we can combat people being out here doing the things. So let's get into some reasons why people do not care about Charlie Kirk passing away. Now, do I celebrate his death? No, but I'm not going to tell people they need to mourn anybody who was very vocal, very loud, very proud on tearing down communities. Let's get into it, shall we? Because one thing about the internet never forgets. The internet never forgets. Let's start, shall we?
I think it have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at...
And I'll let y'all hear it from the beginning one more time.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at...
All right, let's get into another one. You know, these are his words. I guess it's AI.
I don't like you. I think you spread hate. I think you spread bigotry. I think you piss a lot of people off because you're just an awful person. I don't think you really want to debate because you're just here to piss people off and energize your crowd of racists.
What have I ever said that's racist?
Oh,
Can you name one thing?
It's called the white fragility prayer. This is a psychosocial model that I'm currently developing. It's characterizing a kind of predictive model of what you can expect a white person to articulate if they are found in proximity to racism. It goes, racism exists, but not here. And if it's here, it's not me. And if it was me, I didn't mean it. And if I meant it, it's not racist, or I'm not racist. That's just how it is. It's a way in which, no matter how close the racism might actually be in proximity to a person who might in fact be perpetuating racism in some harmful way, there's always an effort to distance oneself from it. I want to give you some examples of what the white fragility prayer looks like in action.
Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Like we have been from Somalia and from the third world, all of a sudden they say diversity is a strength. Is it really? Is diversity a strength in Minneapolis? Is that really a strength? No. You know what is a strength? The unity we find in being an American, not in being Muslim or in being whatever faction or tribe that you come from. And yet people go around sloppily saying, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist. It is so destructive to our dialogue. It's destructive to us coming together as a country, and there's nothing to support it whatsoever.
The psychosocial model characterizes what are very clear, cut and paste textbook examples of racism that are unambiguously clear, and yet predictable responses would be attempts to insert any kind of barrier that allows them to distance themselves from racism even when it's their own behavior. It's never who we are. It's never where we are. We're never willing to admit that, in fact, we are racist. The racism, it exists, but it's always out there somewhere. It's always someone else's problem. It's always just out of reach, and we're totally against racism, but the racism is never where we are.
All right. The crazy thing is, this man did this video July 6th. This is crazy. Baby, I know that it's going up like the money. Oh, no. We're still here. And let's get these likes up. Please and thank you. Share this out. Share. Another beautiful video. Listen, I believe in facts. I don't like to believe in anything because that's what Charlie Kirk said. Show me the facts.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage, but
Not y'all talking about he was a father and what about his children? This is the same man who told George Floyd's daughter she needs to get over it. That's what he said. Baby, they've been wearing him out, not me.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually.
But let me bring up something I know. I love, Charlie Kirk. Let me bring up his kind, one of his fellow sisters.
On June 28th of 1914, Gavrilo Princip murdered the then Archduke of Austria-Hungary named Franz Ferdinand. Within a month, by July 28th, Austria-Hungary had declared war on Bosnia because they wouldn't accept all of their terms. This set off a chain reaction of alliances that eventually led to World War I. Do you notice how, even though we do not have a suspect in custody for Charlie Kirk, we do not have a motive, they are already blaming the radical left and saying, to quote Laura Loomer, that we should use the power of the state to exterminate the left. They are already declaring war even though there is no suspect. This is the excuse that they've been waiting for. This is the response they were hoping to get by Trump's faked assassination attempt, and now that Charlie Kirk is dead, they will weaponize this to use the military, the National Guard, statewide force, and censorship against anyone who does not agree with them. They have been waiting for this moment, and it does not matter what the truth is, they will not accept it, because they want to paint the left as the violent group, even though we're not the ones that committed the insurrection on January 6th, erected a gallows for Mike Pence when he wouldn't do what they wanted him to do. And also, the same group of people that said last year, according to Stephen Miller, that the Second American Revolution will remain bloodless if the left allows it. It doesn't matter who did this, or conveniently that it was done the day before September 11th so they can paint it as terrorism. And the same right-wingers that are losing their fucking shit over this right now, and how dare you not be sympathetic to this person who was actively promoting harm. They are the same people who did not say a word when Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated in their home by someone who impersonated an officer, had a manifesto about murdering Democratic representatives, had stalked these people, and had essentially an expose on them in his car and in his home. They didn't say a word. No flags at half-mast, no thoughts and prayers, no we need to do something about this, there's no space for political violence, none of that, because it doesn't matter. The double standard is clear. The hypocrisy is clear. They will balk at the, how dare you? They didn't say a word when Melissa Hortman was killed. They don't actually care about this. They care about using it as a weapon to silence people who oppose them. And it is a great way to reunify a group that was fracturing over not releasing the Epstein files. And again, right before September 11th, you get to paint it as terrorism. And now you get to use emergency military powers to go after people you don't like. This will escalate violence faster than anything we've seen since January 20th up to this point. And it happened right in front of all of those young white kids who are now ripe to be weaponized.
All right, because where is the my thing is this, where is the APB so we can know how to get this killer off the streets? I've never seen anything like it. You mean to tell me somebody who is great friends with our president, we don't even know what the assailant looks like? And let's be very clear. If you know anything about people who can shoot like that at that range, it's given sniper. How many snipers are snipers of color? I'll just leave it at that. In Utah. Yeah, okay. My favorite one, this one.
You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies. That turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our...
And that's crazy. You know, it's so unfortunate. And a lot of people are playing it. They're like, they're painting dust. They're like, I don't care. This is what it is. This is how it's been. I keep telling you, what you say to others, what you do to others, you reap what you sow. It's unfortunate. How come Utah is not up in arms that a beloved political commentator was taken out in front of their children, their youth, in front of their God-given, good Christian youth who are going to lead the nation into something successful? Any other time that something like this crazy happens, we get an APB immediately. What about the good Christian women? Do we not care about the youth? I know for a fact a DEI hire didn't climb onto the roof without someone spotting them and then bang, bang. They did it with one shot. This is crazy. Do we not care about Charlie Kirk's children? Wow. What is Utah doing? The thugs is out there, and it's crazy. The white on white crime is it's getting out of control. It is getting out of control. Where are the troops in Utah? We need to send in the National Guard because they have an assailant on the loose. I have a trick for you. Put a 1 in the chat if you think they're going to find the assailant. Put a 2 in the chat if they're not going to find them. Put a 1 in the chat if you think they're going to find the assailant. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that they're not. I'm trying to see something. Y'all said y'all care about justice and we got to get the killers off the street, the thugs. I cannot believe we are allowing white on white crime. This is like the 4th incident in the past 2 weeks. My God, today. My God, today. The FBI and A.T.F and DEA and CIA been boots on the ground for over 15 hours now. They don't even know what the assailant looks like. Y'all don't find that suspicious? Y'all don't find that alarming? When John F. Kennedy was shot, they made sure to cut the cameras immediately. When the senator who gets called Miss Pocahontas, isn't she the one who was shot in front of the courthouse? They made sure to cut immediately. Her and 4 other people. So you mean to tell me there's a decline in the birth rates and we take out a healthy 31-year-old Caucasian male who was actively producing children with his wife, and y'all are okay with this? There is a decline in birth rates, and this is what we do. Y'all are not outraged? We didn't change the laws to make it so you literally have to jump through hoops to tell them about your body autonomy as a woman just to get allergy medicine. And we don't care that some assailant who took out a healthy 31-year-old male, strong specimen, who was educating the youth, going from college campus to college campus to college campus, who had a thriving YouTube channel, a thriving podcast. His assailant is on the loose, and this happened in Utah. And it is not concerning. It's not alarming. The Proud Boys are not riding at dawn to find out who took out their friend. Y'all are not demanding answers from the A.T.F, the DEA, the CIA, the FBI, the police, our president. Where is the National Guard? They want y'all to believe that they're flying the American flag at half-mast for a Charlie Kirk. And it is Patriots Day. The remembrance of 9/11. Very weird. Very strange. I'm not seeing enough conservatives cry on camera. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing enough conservatives advocating for their homeboy. If it was my homeboy, I would be raging from sun up to sundown. I guess I don't care. I guess I don't care. That's what it's giving me. I would be out here advocating for Charlie Kirk's wife, stating, why are we still circulating this heinous video? He has kids. Y'all don't give a damn. His wife hasn't said anything. She was at the event. I thought y'all cared. Who is she supposed to turn to? She had this good American Christian man who was a leader, who was out here telling women, don't get you a degree, go get you an MRS degree. What is she supposed to do? What is his wife supposed to do? Has the president went to go be by Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica? Has he went to go be by her side? Has JD Vance? And then they want to say, if you're not, I'm not about to cry for somebody. I'm not crying over nobody that my president didn't cry for, my VP's not crying for, the conservatives are not crying for. I'm not crying over nobody. Y'all got an assailant on the loose. I'm on guard. Where are the troops? Where are the people? To everybody who's saying we need change, we need change, we need change, let me tell you how you can get change. First of all, go get you a weapon. Go get you a weapon. The Second Amendment is here to stay. The Second Amendment is here to stay. You know, Charlie Kirk died on those words. He stood 10 toes deep about what he believed in. So in honor of him, go get you a weapon. Then go sign up. Go sign up for the NRA. Yes. Go sign up for the NRA and then go to the gun shows. All of them. Start encouraging other people to go to the gun shows and be a part of the NRA and be loud and proud about the Second Amendment. Yes. Yes. You. If you look like me, definitely you. I'm talking to you. If you're a law-abiding citizen, go get you a weapon today in honor of Charlie Kirk. Go do it. Go be a part of the NRA. Don't be a part of the NRA until you go get your Second Amendment right. Go do it. The right to bear arms. Go get your right to bear arms in according with your laws. If you care about Charlie, go do that. And don't just go get some little a 45. Go get you that work. Then sign up for the NRA. Then go to the gun shows. Go to the gun shows. And then advocate going to the gun shows. Then you might see some change. Y'all crying about the Second Amendment. Oh my God, the Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Second Amendment. Baby, he should. No, don't cry about it. Go stand by it. Solidify it. I said this a few years ago. People did not believe me. I'm telling you now, in honor of Charlie, he would be proud. He wants you to have the right to bear arms. To those who say you have no empathy, do not empathize. He said empathy is a new woke word. We don't want to be new and woke. We don't want to be new and woke. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Let's stand by our brother who lost his life for this fight. Stand by him. Yeah. He died for his words. Some of y'all are not willing to die about what you believe in. He died for it. They're not even looking for his assailant. Let me pull it up. Let me see if they found out who did it yet. It's been almost a full day. They haven't found it. You know, there's no reward. There's nothing. It's crazy. A political activist just gunned down at a university. They're not even attempting to look. Right before his birthday. His birthday is October 14th. Right before his birthday. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go to the BBC because we're international. Let's go to the international news. College-age killer of Charlie Kirk still at large, says FBI as rifle found in the woods. Go get you a rifle in honor of Charlie Kirk. That is crazy. An ally to our president. The nerve. This is disrespectful. Do you not feel disrespected? Somebody came on our turf, American soil, and took out our president's friend, and y'all are not outraged. That is crazy. Y'all are not outraged. They haven't found him. They're not looking. You mean to tell me that all they found was so you mean to tell me he was faster than the people with phones? They got CTV. He's faster than that. Just at large, roaming the Utah streets. It's crazy. It is crazy. So you mean to tell me y'all are not advocating for justice for Charlie Kirk? That's wild. Y'all don't care about his children. Y'all don't care about his family. Y'all don't care about his wife. Y'all are doing everything but finding the assailant. Y'all don't find that suspicious? So y'all want his legacy to be he advocated for the Second Amendment, but y'all don't want to find who perpetrated the very act of the Second Amendment. How unfortunate. Why don't white crime? Why don't white crime is at an all-time high? Unhinged white men, because those are usually the snipers. For those who didn't know, statistically speaking, who get the training, who are skilled enough to do what this man was able to pull off. One round did that. One round. That is not somebody who's a brand new sniper. That is a seasoned, skilled sniper. There's not many of them. I'm sure if we start looking up the population of someone who has the skill set to do that, it would get even smaller. What do we know about the shooting suspect? Let's look at that. Let's see. All those cameras there, they didn't catch nothing. That's crazy. So I want y'all to look at this picture so y'all can get a grasp of what they were doing. Content creators, you can take a picture of that. It's giving inside job if you let me tell it, but what do I know? Look at the distance. Look at where he was sitting. And we're not even including the knots of the wind. That is crazy. So they even pulled up, I guess, his tweet he did the day before. Let's go down.
Why would that be? Why would one story demand 100 articles and another story 0 articles? And it's because the media is more interested in the all capitals story, the narrative, than the facts or the truth. Take a look at the difference here. I want to show you the actual truth. When it comes to crime, the story is about race. Race. Take a look at the black on white crimes, 385,000 in 2023. The white on black crimes, just under 118,000. You see the comparative numerical difference. But now, here's what the media actually does. They did what our camera operator just began to do a moment ago. I'm going to step out of the way. I'm going to show you literally what the media does with the camera. They zoom in on this number. This number, devoid of context.
That was his last tweet. He said, Will Kane is 100% right. We have been propagandized by liars and fakers in the media to believe that America is a vicious, racist country and indiscriminate attacks on black people by whites happen all the time. But the numbers tell the truth. Black attacks on white people. Something about that. They said he had controversial positions. He spoke on black Americans, Islam, Gaza, and gun laws, right? Those were his controversial. And then abortion. Let's get into what do we know about the shooter. Absolutely nothing, but let's get into it. While a bolt-action rifle believed to have been used in the shooting was found Thursday in nearby Woodland, the shooter remains at large. So that means the Utah people are not safe. The Utah people are not safe. Anybody in the neighboring cities and states of Utah, you are not safe because they just have some wild shooter on the loose. It says investigators said they found 3 rounds of unfired ammunition engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside the rifle. So it's a transgender who pulled the trigger. Is that what they're saying? Okay, according to a Thursday report by the Wall Street Journal, which quoted a person familiar with the investigation and an internal law enforcement bulletin, on Wednesday there was an initial confusion about whether a suspect had been taken into custody in an immediate aftermath of the shooting. A person of interest was reported to be in custody. That was that old elderly white man whose pants fell. Governor Spencer Cox said, though no charges were immediately announced, Spencer Cox needs to answer for Charlie Kirk being assassinated in his city, on his turf. Period. Later, Utah police said 2 people had been considered suspects, but they were released after. Officials found they had no links to the shooting. This just tells me the Utah people are incompetent. On Wednesday, Bo Mason, the head of the Utah Department of Public Safety, said a suspect was described as being dressed in all dark clothing. That's all we got after 15 hours, child. Erica needs to sue. Following new information on Thursday, which is today, Mason told a press conference that the police were hunting a specific individual whose movements investigators have been able to track. We're able to track the movements of a shooter starting at 11:52 a.m. This subject arrived on campus shortly away from campus. Mason said, "We have tracked his movement on campus through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location." So they have all this, but they don't have him in custody. Again, down at Utah, they have the FBI, the CIA, the ATF, the DEA. They have the Utah police and the civilians. And they haven't found this person. Remind me to never move to Utah because they don't care about their citizens, honey. They just allowing any and everything to happen. Couldn't be Texas. Texas, they would have found them. They would have apprehended immediately. Mason said investigators had good video footage of the individual. That individual appears to be of college age, he added. More and more, it's given inside job. Inside job. So does that sound like they have a description of the assailant? Doesn't sound like they have anything to me. Sounds like a bunch of hocus pocus. While he was out here stirring up and rage baiting the people with his bigotry, his racial talking points, and his grift, his own kind took him out. I think there's time, now is the time, that white men in power talk about white men who want to take them out. I think it's time. Especially with this huge birth decline they keep crying about. When are we going to start discussing, and I'm talking to the white men, about your white brothers who are taking out your children and your brothers? What is happening? Is the white community oblivious to this? Do they not understand what's going on? Do they not see what's happening? Or do they not care? That is my question. Do the white community not care what's going on in the white community? They're taking out your youth. Who's going to lead the nation? They're taking away your fathers, your husbands, your sons. They're leaving white women in a vulnerable position to do it on their own, to struggle, To have to wake up every day with their children knowing that somebody can just easily take their husbands out. Clearly, it's somebody who don't like white men. The people of Utah are not afraid enough for me. They're not rising up in anger enough for me. This is crazy. It's giving inside job. We should not let Charlie Kirk's legacy end like this. That's all I'm saying. But what are your thoughts on this, Space Squad? What are your opinions? Comment down below. I gotta go. Bye, host.